Hello and welcome to the Bookish Rambles podcast with me, Holly.
And me, Becky.
And today is the last episode of this series. Oh, see, if we had like more experience, we would have a soundboard and there would be an "oh" sound.
We're just making this up as we go along.
Yeah, one day. But basically, we thought that we would do kind of like a reading wrap up for the past month or so ish, and just talk about some books that we've really enjoyed.
Do you want to go first? Because I've got to go through my stuff because I cannot remember unless I actually look at it.
Well, I actually have read quite a few books that I enjoyed lately. So, like for example, in June I read apparently 8 books, and
Oh,
one of
wow.
those books was, well, okay. I guess context is necessary for this. I am planning on writing a book set during the Second World War, so I have been reading a lot of books, which I enjoy naturally because I am a bit of a history nerd.
We do have a soundboard, remember?
I caught me so off guard.
Oh my god, you know what we could have done? We could have done.
Oh,
That's the wrong horn. I forgot we had that.
oh, Anyway, lucky us for finding that. So basically, I'm writing a book about the Second World War from the perspective of 2 soldiers, and I'm not sure if you would have guessed this about me, but I was not a soldier in the Second World War.
Oh, how dare you not be a
I
soldier?
know. So, like, I have been doing a lot of research, which basically I was like, I wanted to write a book about the Second World War because I love learning about the Second World War. So I'm using it as an excuse to read a bunch of books that are like sort of more informational. So my 2 highest rated books were almost 4 stars. And I'm going to say now, like, I'm not going to include the books that we've spoken about on the podcast because there's no point in really doing that. But Sword by Max Hastings, which is about Sword Beach at D-Day. And then there was a book called The Wager by David Gran. So they're non-fiction, and I really, really like those. They were absolutely what I wanted them to be. They were both very interesting to read, informational, but like, fun. And do you know what? A book that I was not super excited by, and this is a shame. So it's called Vanishing World, and I say it's the latest. It's the latest to be translated by Sayaka Murata. And the problem that I have is that I think I knew going into this that this wasn't like a new book. It was a book that had been translated from her back catalogue. But it didn't feel as effective as her other books because she wrote Convenience Store Woman, which I absolutely love, and Earthlings, which I also really liked. And the only reason why Earthlings isn't a 5 is because it's a very difficult book to read. Like, it made me feel physically ill. Because it deals with some very difficult topics, like abuse of children generally, but also specifically like sexual abuse towards children. So it's not a book that I would read and be like, wow, I'm loving this, but it was very well done in my opinion. So I was quite disappointed by that. And I also had a 1-star read, which I'm not even going to talk about because like I have so many complaints about that.
No, no, no. Oh, yeah, like tell us. I'm curious. I love when people moan about books.
So okay, I'm gonna give. There is a sequel to To Kill a Mockingbird called Go Set a Watchman.
Oh, so you didn't like Go Set a Watchman?
The sequel was written before To Kill a Mockingbird, but it didn't sell, so she turned the characters into To Kill a Mockingbird. And they didn't really edit it so that there are there are inaccuracies in the story because obviously it was changed to be a different book, so they didn't rechange the stuff in this book to make it fit with the book that had already been out for many years. And so this book takes a character, Atticus Finch, who literally he chose, even though he was hated by his community for it, and even though his children were, this is spoilers for To Kill a Mockingbird, but his children were killed over this, okay, over him representing a black man and trying to prove this black man's innocence, and doing so, but not in an official capacity. Like, everyone knew that he was innocent, but he was sentenced to death anyway. And go set a Watchmen, okay, same author, same characters. She finds out Atticus Finch is racist. He believes that black people should not have the right to vote because they are not smart enough, because they would make the wrong choice. So the choice needs to be taken out of their hands. That is what he believes explicitly. He doesn't hate them in the way that other people hate them, but he thinks that they're stupid implicitly. And rather than being like, he's like, I don't want black people in our schools. He's like, I don't want them to be able to vote. And when she has a complaint about this, and she calls him a coward, and she calls him a hypocrite and all of these things, she goes home to pack her bags and leave, and she is stopped and told that she is a hypocrite because he is not prejudiced. She is, because she will not allow him to have that view. And it's like, she ends up having to apologize to her dad.
What?
Yeah. And bearing in mind, this happens in like the last like 50 pages or something. And I was like, yeah, you shout at him. You tell him off. You tell him that he's a hateful, awful man, right? And that, you know, equality is the right way to go, and that you shouldn't be willing to settle for racism. Yeah, you'd be willing to leave your family behind and you know, do the right thing and go back to New York and live your life without racist people in it. But like, it does the opposite of that. It's like, yeah, we should just accept that people are racist. And actually, you should move back home because you're not racist, and so we need more people like that. And it's like, I don't know, maybe you could just not be racist. Maybe. When I tell you, I went from being like so proud of this character and being like, wow, this book is so important, wow, to being like, excuse me? I was so mad at this book that I was so mad. Let me get I literally posted to my Instagram story, and I think it literally was a picture of this book where is it in the archive? Is that what it's called? Yeah, okay. So I finished this book at, let me check the time, because honestly, like, I physically cannot express how baffled I was that this book, because first of all, I was like, maybe it's a mistake, maybe he isn't racist, because, you know, like, the other book made it seem like he wasn't racist. And so I was going through all the motions that the character was going through. I was like, oh my god, these characters are racist. Oh. And then I was like, well, you know, so 11 minutes past midnight, I posted to my Instagram story, what the fuck? This should not have been published. Oh my god, with a picture of the book.
There's probably a reason why she never published it.
Yeah, and then they clearly published it because To Kill a Mockingbird did really well, and then they were like, I think it was maybe around the same time as the anniversary. So they... Yeah. But like, it goes back on everything that the original book represented, in my opinion. You know?
Yeah, I just looked up when she died. So when does Go Set a Watchman come out? Was it 2018? Because Harper Lee died in 2016. Yeah. So
it says. But like,
so was she alive then when it came out? So she was well and truly...
But not far from death, so I suppose she probably didn't really have much to do with it. Which would be why it wasn't rewritten at all. But like, like, when I tell you that this book drove me nuts, like, it's not even on my shelf because I like refuse to own that book. Like, and bearing in mind, like, To Kill a Mockingbird, I I think it was a 4-star, like, or maybe even a 5-star for me. But like, now that I'm thinking about it in context of where it came from, it's kind of been soured. Because what do you mean he was racist the whole time?
Mm.
Like, what? I just, like, I don't even know, like, there's just, it's so rubbish. The whole, like, like, every time I think about it, I get angry because what were you thinking writing a book like that? And then publishing, like, why did it need to be published? Fuming. Anyway.
She probably just saw a bit of money. Someone probably just thought, oh yeah, we can make a bit of money off this. Like
Yeah.
if she'd fallen ill or something, they were like, oh yeah, year final.
In
Oh well,
comparison.
yeah, I have got it. So basically, I shouldn't read it then.
Oh, I wouldn't. It honestly, like, I was so into it until those, like, last 50 pages. And then I was like, oh, oh no, 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 no. This is the opposite of what the message should be, actually. It is, in fact, okay to be not a fan of people who have prejudiced views. Just for anyone who's not in any doubt about that. Tolerance should only be given to people who are themselves tolerant, because otherwise you create an area where people who are objectively of morally unsound character are given an ability to just do whatever they want and be cruel to people who therefore are not safe. And it's not okay, and it shouldn't be okay. And I feel like that message at this moment in time was just not one I was in any space to receive with any level of willingness. Because what? But like, in comparison, that was, I think, one of my worst reading months, because I've had a bit of a rut. I had a few 3-star reads over the past few months, and then that was like my lowest. But literally like 2 days ago, I finished Bright Young Women, which have you heard of that? I'm assuming.
I feel it feels like a classic or something. I don't think I have.
It's very modern. I thought it was older than it was.
Who's it by?
Jessica Knoll.
Yeah, no, I've never heard of it.
But it's basically about, so Ted Bundy basically broke into this sorority house, killed 2 women, and 2 other women were beaten very heavily, but they survived because of a light that came on
across the street.
But they were car lights basically that shone into the room, and he was like, oh god, so he left. Let me Google. Her name was Kathy Kleiner Rubin, and she wrote a memoir called A Light in the Dark, where she says surviving more than Ted Bundy. But she discusses in that the fact that she was one of those women who survived, but like she needed a lot of surgeries and stuff.
Okay. Oh gosh, I can imagine.
But like, this book focuses on 2 women, and I don't know if all of them are real. Actually, I will look that up. But one of them is the like president of this sorority, and she, like, obviously she's downstairs during the attack, right? And so she literally wakes up and she's like, oh, I'm hungry. And then she goes outside into the hall and the light's on, and she remarks, because this is like a telling of a story that's already happened, she's like, that light being on saved my life, because otherwise I would have had to go down the other staircase. So she goes down the main staircase and she starts cleaning up, and then she hears footsteps and she's like, that's weird. And so she follows these footsteps and she's in the dark shadow, but this light is illuminating this guy, and she sees him face to face because he stares into the dark where she is. And she knows very soon after that it's Ted Bundy, because a victim that he had killed 4 years earlier, her girlfriend shows her, she's like, you saw him, right? Is this him? And it's his wanted poster. And she's like, yeah, that's him. So it's basically about the women that Ted Bundy made victims, but also from the perspective of those that survived. And so let me look it up. Because one of them, I don't know if she's real or a fictional character.
Didn't he kill loads of people?
Yeah, and the thing is, like, they changed the names.
There's probably victims that we don't know about that he killed. So
Oh, there are. Like, the numbers of his thing, because I looked it up because I didn't really know anything about him. But, like, because basically, one of the characters we actually see from the perspective of one of the women who was his victim. So I don't know if she was real, because all of their names have been changed, basically.
so she could have been based on someone, I suppose.
Yeah. See, like, that's not her. That's not her. But it is horrific. Like, I read the first. I read about 100 pages each time. It's about 400 pages long. And I read it in bed. So I was only reading until like midnight sort of time. So the first night that I read it, I was like, honestly, like, you know how because, okay, with horror, I don't tend to get too afraid. But when it
this is real.
Yeah. So I was like, oh God. I had to go and find my cat, you know? Okay, so it's real. 4 female witnesses described this. This is the one that it's, yeah. So she was real. Her real name was apparently Janice Ann Ott. In the book, her name is Ruth. But it's the same circumstances of the abduction, basically. And so it discusses how he's never actually named. He's made, and I'm kind of annoyed by this because he's named in the, what's it called? The like the blurb and stuff that is used for, selling. But he's only called the defendant because the whole point of the book is that it's about these women and it's about breaking down the mythos around him. It's about like how he, he did abduct a lot of women by getting their help, like fake help. So for example, this says, and this is described in the book, that he goes over to her while wearing a sling on one of his arms, which he has apparently broken. And he's like, I need you to help me with this sailboat, And one woman says yes, and she goes with him on the condition that she meet his parents, and then she goes into the house and there's no parents, and he has a gun to her head, and then he, And Ruth, the character, it shows a lot about her life, and it really is quite powerful, but it says the whole point of the book, right, is that like a lot of the women were creeped out by him. They weren't, he wasn't this super sexy guy that they were just like, oh, I gotta help this guy. It was, I am a woman and I feel kind of awful saying no to a man because it's the 70s. And specifically, she has this whole thing where she stands up to her mother, who is narcissistic, and like she has sent her daughter to therapy basically for being a lesbian, and like she's finally decided to stand up for her mother and accept that all her mother cares about is the appearances of the family. And so she says no to her mother, and then she's like, I had already said no to one person today, I didn't have it in me to say no to another. And this book made me so sad for the real women, because they are real women, and they're described as fictionalized versions of themselves, but the actual events are real, and it used like the cooperation of real people, obviously not the victims themselves, but like the woman that I mentioned who wrote a book about it, she was like a huge part of this process. It was so awful, and it's even based in like the same exact place and whatnot, and it mentions about how the police were given like directly like a description of him, and how when she found out who he was, she went and was like, this is the exact person that I'm talking about. And they
didn't do shit.
No, because she had mentioned that it looked for a second like it might have been the boyfriend of one of her friends. So I don't know again if the main character, because the main character who isn't a victim, who like survives, is she mentioned? I'm assuming she's real. I'm assuming that she is a fictionalized version of a real person because all of the other people seem to have been. But like, he escaped prison. He escaped prison, and in the book it's mentioned that they had like for the university a flyer about the university that he went and then killed a bunch of people at. Are you joking? Like, and also he escaped crime multiple times. Like this book, it made me so mad for the victim. Because like
the fact that he escaped and just didn't do anything.
Literally, like I am so like I can't, you know, like it was such a good book, and I was like, wow, but at the same time, like I learned so much about this. And as well, like it talks about how a lot of the press was talking about how he was a law student. And then it's like, well, actually, he was a law student because he faked his way into a law course after already flunking out of a really shit law course. So he, like, you know, he literally was not very smart at all. The only time that he was defending himself in the court, it was because he was not interviewing somebody important. Like he was doing such a bad job of everything. And like how the only reason why he got away with it as long as he did was because of this way that women and, you know, victims in general are supposed to be these like meek people who don't say no to men that they don't know. And like he literally, there are so many different people who afterwards would be like, yeah, I saw him and the victim seemed really uncomfortable. Or they would meet him and like one of his victims literally escaped. Like he kidnapped a girl who ran away and they found stuff in his car that tied him to a murder, and then he went to prison, but like he escaped the prison because of incompetence on the end of the car. Like basically, the book is about this woman called Pamela Schumacher, who is a lawyer.
Right.
And she's the one who sees him. And she decides to go into... Oh, no, that's the other woman. She was the woman who... Because he escaped the sorority house, and then he almost killed another woman. Or he did kill another woman. Did he? No, I think she got the attention of her neighbours. Like, this man literally did so much that he shouldn't have been... Like, oh... I just like I don't know if the narrative is a real person. I don't know, but oh my god, like I cannot express how angry this made me. Like it really irritated me a lot, actually.
Yeah, it is frustrating, especially when stuff like that does happen.
And like it's one of those books that it was really enjoyable to read. In that the writing style and whatnot was very good. And the same author wrote The Luckiest Woman Alive, is that what it's called? Which you may have heard of because it got turned into a film. Luckiest Girl Alive. Which is kind of similar. I guess the books of the author aim to be about women and like their stories. And so this whole book, it's about like the way that women, especially young women who were the victims of this man, are more likely to, you know, be like the the people that he attacked because they were more vulnerable, but also because they... And it's mentioned that the reason why it's called Bright Young Women is because he targeted women who were most often like attending universities, and they were quite smart. This sorority house is one that was very, very like prolific for having very smart women in it and having very good connections. And so it like he went after women who were smart because he was an idiot who couldn't even really get into law school, basically. And like how he was just an idiot that was hyped up by the media. And I like I loved it, but it was so heartbreaking to read it and to know that these people were real. You know, they may have fictional names and have been turned into characters, but they were real people.
Yeah. It just sucks for everybody, doesn't it?
It was so... I like that I went for two very serious topics there. Would you like to give one of you?
I mean, mine's going to sound really like stupid in comparison. So obviously we know that I read a lot of manga, so I've been reading a lot of One Piece.
Yeah.
That's all I've been reading, really.
Because less serious.
Well, you say that. So for the concept of, I'm sure most people have probably heard of One Piece. Like, it's regarded as one of the longest animes ever. It's not. I know a manga that was way longer, which is Case Closed, but I will talk about Case Closed, which Detective Conan. But One Piece, like, the basic premise is this young boy called Luffy sets out to find the One Piece, which is this legendary treasure. That the king of the pirates left behind, and so the story follows him like as he gets different crewmates. So, and basically, because it is a manga, so mangas technically usually revolve in arcs. So with One Piece, the arcs always revolve around what island they land on.
Okay.
So this arc is called the arc that I'd say the most recent arc that I read. Because this other one, I've just finished what's called the Daily Fight Back, which it's kind of like a filler arc almost, where they're just like fighting this pirate crew. So I'll talk about the previous arc because I'm still reading volume 34. So like volume 32, I think the Skypiea arc is like, it's like, I can't remember without looking. Let's have a look. So the Skypiea arc is volumes 26 to 32, so it's 7 volumes.
You did that maths very quickly.
I looked it up.
Okay.
I looked it up. I didn't do it. I can't do maths that quickly. So basically, the initial premise of the Skypiea arc is there's another arc called the J arc where the ship fell on top from the sky on top of them, and they have this thing called a log pose, and the log pose is basically how they can find their direction in this sea called the Grand Line, which is like regarded as like the most dangerous sea in the world, which is where the One Piece is. And so because they can't move any forward because their log pose is pointed to the sky, they have to go and get their ship done, blah blah blah. So they get their ship able to get them into the sky. People keep taking the mick out of them, thinking, how is there a place in the sky? But there is actually an island in the sky where all these people worship what's called a god. But basically, the basic premise is this god, I'm doing quotation marks, wants to genocide the whole area of Skypiea.
Oh.
So yeah, One Piece is actually, there's a lot of topics addressed. And Luffy has to stop him. I will say it wasn't my favourite arc. I think my favourite arc for One Piece has always been the Arlong Park arc because I love it, which involved one of the crew called Nami, where like we learn her backstory and stuff.
Yeah.
So my favourite thing is when the crew or when the characters' stakes are involved. And at the moment in the One Piece, I feel like there's going to be stakes involved with a character called Nico Robin. There's things that are being revealed about her, and I'm like, this arc's going to revolve around her. Like, this is definitely going to be one of my favourite arcs.
It's when the characters are given time to shine that you appreciate it more.
Yeah, so this one's more like a fun kind of adventure, which is nice that it's got a mix of those two, because we've just had like a big saga called the Alabasta Saga, where they've had to stop this kingdom from falling into a civil war with like the princess. This is what I mean. Like there are a lot of topics addressed in it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that
Like
it is worth doing when you've got, because you have like a fun concept, but then you put something slightly more serious in it.
yeah, so I'm like, yeah, there's this whole topic of genocide. I'm like, oh my god, Luffy's gonna have to stop. He managed to destroy, because there's two groups. I can't remember what they're called, but they're basically separated, and he destroys one of the lands where they live. So the resolution is that they have to go, like, share the same area and come together at the end. So it's like it's that learning of solidarity as well.
Yeah. I think that is like, I know that you didn't enjoy it as much, but I think that it's fun that like the main part of the story of the sky arc anyway is that like you go up into an island in the sky and then it's like, how do you want to feel about genocide, guys?
It's really funny is he's basically in One Piece. People eat devil fruits and it can give them like powers, but the cost of not being able to swim ever again.
Oh,
So it's kind of got like a magic. It's not a magic system in a way, but it kind of is, if you know what I mean.
yeah. Like there's poison effect.
Which is great. So like Oda has really thought about the consequences. Like Luffy ate a fruit called the Gomu no Mi, which they call the Gum Gum fruit, which is like he's made out of rubber. And because the guy, his name is Anal, wants to destroy because he can control lightning. Now, can you see where this is going? Luffy is immune to him.
See, fun.
Yeah, One Piece is fun. It's a lot of fun. And I think that's kind of what you want for manga. Like, a lot of manga will address, but I love fun manga. Like, I look, like, for example, I'll talk about Case Closed I read recently. Case Closed, like, this is going to be the wackiest concept ever. So Case Closed it's kind of grounded in reality, so it's like a murder mystery of the week almost. But there's a whole overarching theme where Conan or Shinichi has to find out has to take down the black organization because he overheard a deal happening because he was like a teenage detective and he overheard them and he got given a drug which was supposed to kill him, but it shrunk him down to the size of a 6-year-old.
Oh.
So he has to go into hiding, and like they uncover a load of plots and things, and there's like overarching themes, and obviously there's still like a bit of a romance with his childhood best friend, and he has like a rival detective, and there's the FBI involved. Like it's a fun time.
No, I agree with that. I feel like it makes sense as well because like I have obviously heard of One Piece, but I've never seen it, and it's interesting because you make videos about it, so. All I know about it is from you.
When I'm just like, yeah. I know I'm trying to get my boyfriend, I'm trying to get him to watch One Piece, and I was like, wait, there's a live action show on Netflix. I could get him to watch it. Because that's quick. What did he say yesterday? He said, oh yeah, like what does it cover? I was like, oh, it just covers East Blue, so that's like the first saga. So there's like volumes 1 to 10 or something like that. So it's like, yeah. Pretty much. I mean, it's a bit different, but what's interesting is the anime changes so basically there's a character called Sanji in like one of the characters that he like is his mentor that kind of raised him as a kid because they open a restaurant together, gets chopped his leg off, but the anime changed it to like, oh, it was a shipwreck. It's like, no, he actually chopped his leg off to eat as food because they were starving. The live action doesn't change that. Like there's a lot of changes from the manga apparently to make it more I don't know, kid friendly, even though it's not a kid.
Yeah.
That's the only word I can think of. It's not a kid anime. When people think anime's for children, watch Elfen Lied and then come back to me because that is fucking insane.
Yeah, I honestly I feel like there are obviously children's animes, but most of them are like
Pokemon.
They're just an art form.
Yeah, manga anime is seen as a regard. Like, do you know what? That has always been a dream of mine. because I'm learning to teach myself how to draw.
Yeah.
I want to do a manga.
Well, one day,
Like,
you know?
yeah, I love that, especially with, obviously I can write. It's like, oh yeah, I can just apply these two skills together. So like, if I just show you like I was practicing some more like bodies the other day. If I show you this, I was like, I was obviously referencing because you should always draw with a reference. But if you want to learn from imagination. But yeah, this is what I drew the other day, and I was like, I'm quite proud of these. Like, they're not great, but they look
See,
pretty good actually.
you're learning the fundamentals. You're learning how to, and then you'll learn, like, the more that you draw, the stronger they will get now that you know how to do them.
Yeah. Do you know what was really bugging me is where the armpit joins in?
Yeah.
So I was like, I just couldn't figure out how that worked, and I was like,
because it's such an odd space.
I was like, I just couldn't figure it out. So I was like, if I reference it, and I was like, oh, so it's kind of like it's kind of like an extra straight. It's like building Lego.
Yeah.
Drawing is like building Lego. You learn how to draw all the different parts on top of each other.
I've seen those like paintings where people they draw like the skeleton and then they slowly add the layers.
Yeah, so when like I mean I'm getting off a bit off topic now, but like when you're learning to draw, you learn you find what's called benchmarks. So for example, the rib cage can be broken down to as an oval, and the pelvis like about a boxy shape, or kind of like wearing underwear.
Yeah.
So you're breaking down. I mean, obviously, this book that I've got, it's by I cannot pronounce his name, Michel Loresella, Morpho Anatomy for Artists. So this is all like simplified anatomy. But if you're going to learn anatomy, you want it to be simplified because like you don't need to learn all the different types of muscles. You just need to know the benchmarks. But like you still need to you don't need to. There's like 10 muscles in the shoulder. You don't need to know all 10. You just need to know kind of like how it fits together.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Like, you don't need to know everything about anatomy to be able to draw a correct anatomy.
Yes. Oh, I tell you what.
Very good.
Yeah. So, like, going back to the books, I was just going off topic, but like a lot of the books I've read, the ones we talked about on the podcast, it's just manga I've been reading. But I'm gonna have to go back to May for this. There was a book I read that I was really disappointed with.
Oh, do have I?
No, unless you saw my May wrap up.
I have seen your May wrap up. Off
The Theatre of Glass. The Theatre of Glass and Shadows.
Oh. Yeah, you had.
Such a disappointment. Yeah. Well, like, the idea is really cool. There's like an alternative London, and there's this mysterious theatre district, and like this show's been running for centuries, and like there's a load of intrigue. Like, I just didn't feel like anything was happening. I was like, everything seems to be happening so easy. She just moves to London, and someone's got a room, and she can just live with them now. Huh?
To be fair, this is one of those books where I've checked the reviews and it's like primarily 3 or 4 stars. Like there's very few 5 stars. So I'm going to go ahead and imagine that you're probably not in the minority for that.
No, it's a shame because it's such a cool concept. And like, a stepmother is a bit like, oh, we don't actually. There's like this mystery. There's a mystery, and then there's this. It just felt really weird. I felt like it was trying too hard sometimes to try and be mysterious. That the world building didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I understand that. I think sometimes you read something and all you see is the wasted potential.
I know.
You know what? I will say I enjoyed it, but I read The Man in the Iron Mask. I think I told you that I was doing that. Or maybe.
Yeah.
I loved The Three Musketeers, and I do plan on reading 20 Years After, which is the other book. But The Man in the Iron Mask, literally the first chapter, One of the Musketeers, okay, and this is 40 years after the original series, he goes into this prisoner's room and he's like, how would you feel about leaving prison? And he's like, yeah, whatever. And basically he explains that the man in this prison cell is the brother, the older brother, I think, of the King of France, and that he had been cast out so that there wouldn't be family difficulties over who was to take the throne. And he had been imprisoned because he was believed to have found out too much information and therefore be a threat. And so he looks exactly like the other prince, right? Because they were like twins, whatever. So he looked like his brother, he sounds like his brother, but he has been raised in prison. And because he's been raised in prison, he has more practical ideas. He has a very understanding of, the court and whatnot, but without the spoilt brat sort of, that his brother seems to have. So basically this musketeer is like, I am going to break you out of prison and swap you with your brother, and you will be the King of France. And this happens, and then within like half of the book, that has happened and it's failed because he tells somebody about it who then immediately goes and gets the king out of prison. At that point, this book started being very different. And I gave it 3.5 stars because, again, I feel like I enjoyed it. There were moments of it that were very impactful for me. But, why is it called The Man in the Iron Mask when the Man in the Iron Mask is the prince who was supposed to be put on the throne and has been immediately thrown back into prison, but this time while wearing a mask? And we never see him again. It felt like there was a waste of the potential of the plot. And I enjoyed it, I enjoyed the writing, I wanted to keep reading, but it did feel like it kind of fell off a bit, which, I don't know. I fully understand this could have been so much better, I read that this month. So the only other book that I've read this month besides The Bright Young Women and The Man in the Iron Mask was a book about the Second World War called Sky Warriors, which I actually gave 4 stars. So, yeah. Which
I know. See, that's I can't really talk a lot about because all I've just been doing is reading mangas. Because the other books I've read, that was going back to April, and I've already talked about them. I suppose I could mention, I read Rewitched in April, and again, I wasn't really. It was alright. I think I said something along the lines of I just wish there was more. It felt like 2 different books.
Yeah. Have you seen that there's I don't know if it's a direct sequel, but there's a second book in that world?
Oh, it's coming out this year, isn't it?
This year? God.
It came out last year, didn't it, that book?
No, a new one.
A new one. Oh, I don't know. No, not really. I don't know if I'll read a sequel, to be honest. I'm not that fussed.
Uncharmed.
I think the most recent books that I really enjoyed, obviously Rebecca. I still like Rebecca, but not as much. But the ones that were 4 stars were Samantha's and Sabrina's books. I really thought about them. Yeah, no, I'm so glad. I think that just shows to show that's kind of what I want from a story.
Yeah, apparently it's about the sequel is about somebody who owns a bakery, but
no, I'm really not interested.
A teenager witch, but yeah, I get that. And see, as well, this month I feel kind of stupid because I read those 3 books that I mentioned, and Sky Warriors was very interesting. If you've ever been interested in parachuters at the Second World War. Don't know why I said it that way. Parachutists.
Parachutists. I was just saying, are there any books that you're looking forward to coming out?
No. No. See,
Wow.
I haven't
To
started
be
reading it at the
honest.
minute, but I'm reading Mother Thing, which,
Okay.
like, is. Have you heard of it?
No.
So I'll read the blurb on the back. It says Abby Lan has done it. She's found the great good in her husband Ralph, and together they will start a family and put all the unhappiness in her childhood to rest. But then the Lambs move in with Ralph's mother, Laura, and Abby finds the mother of all problems. Laura is venomous and cruel. Oh, and she hates Abby. When Laura suddenly dies, her ghost starts to haunt Abby and Ralph in very different ways. Ralph is plunged into depression, and Abby is being terrorized by a force intent on taking everything she loves away from her. Abby makes the ultimate sacrifice in order to prove her adoration to Ralph and break Laura's hold on the family for good. And it's a horror.
Oh.
It says it's a slab of gothic horror, blackly funny, gruesome, and an original feminist horror story. So I'm like quite interested, and I've heard quite good things. I'm excited to read that, and I'm excited to finish reading The Struggle for Europe, which I'm about 250 pages into out of 700, and I am not kidding, there are twice as many lines on a page as there are on a normal book. Like,
Oh, fun.
and it's huge, by the way, like it is bigger than a regular paperback. So I'm just like, wow. I sent a picture to my friend, and the response was size 1 font. So
Size 1.
it's really, I'll send you a picture of it. It's like absurd, the length of this book, when you consider it. But it's really interesting, you know. But it's non-fiction as well, which obviously means a slower word count. So I'm not really trying. Like, let me have a look at book news on the internet. Let's see if there's any book news that. Because I don't really have anything on my radar, to be honest with you. You know what? That's the way that I googled that. Oh, no, that's a lie. The Princess Knight by, I should know this. Kate Jacobs, which is
Okay.
a Legally Blonde sort of retelling, but in medieval times where.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to read that as well. That looks cool.
I've actually pre-ordered that because I follow the author on Instagram. So like, I obviously supporting fellow authors, and as soon as I saw, because it used to be called Medievally Blonde, because of,
That might be a bit too
yeah,
on the
so they had to
nose.
rechange it. But I was like, oh my god, I'm in love with that idea. So that's coming out.
There's a book that I think you're forgetting.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's true.
I was like, that's what I mean. I was like, you sure?
Hello, Holly. Would you like to be reintroduced?
Yeah. You know, only the thing that
I'll let
I've
you talk about this
one. Yeah.
Because,
I
okay,
know.
actually, I will say now, we are the first episode that we do back, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll know when it's coming, because it's going to be, is it released on release day?
Yes, it'll be on release day.
So it's the 6th of September at whatever time. We don't know yet. We're not that far ahead, okay? But
It'll probably be going up probably in the evening when I've done, because I'm doing a book launch actually,
Yeah.
indie bookshop that I need to email and make sure it's still happening. I think it is. It just hasn't posted about it yet, so I just need to double check.
yeah.
It's called Viola Books in my city, so yeah, I'm quite excited. I know a lot of people are going to come down, so I'm like, okay,
Yeah, and
especially Billy.
we're going to do a special episode where we just talk about the book that you can go and buy and read for yourselves. Written.
Yep. By me.
Yeah, I'm like pointing, but obviously you can't see me.
Yeah, it's also if if anyone wants to have the Kindle version of it, it is also available on pre-order. It's called Heartbeats on Air by Rebecca Kelly, and it is able to pre-order at the moment. We're hoping to get the print version sorted soon because I'll have my final draft back from my editor on Tuesday, so that's not far.
Yeah, because it's just about the word count, the page count, whatever.
Yeah, because Amazon does just, it's fun. So that'll be fun to work out, but we'll get it done.
So yeah, we're doing a whole episode about it because obviously it'll be coming out, and I am excited for that.
Yes.
So that, the Princess Knight. Let me think. Hang on.
When does that come out? It come out in July.
October.
They should have released that in like August. That would have been such a good time to release it.
Yeah. Honestly, have I got
Princess Knight. Is it? Yeah, Kate Jacobs. I love the cover. I forgot what the cover looked like. I love the cover.
Oh, it's so cute.
Because I think she was gonna self-publish it originally, wasn't she?
I don't remember, but she did get an agent, so obviously it ended up getting traditionally published. I don't know by who, but
I was just seeing if I can see. I feel like HarperCollins.
yeah, so that's a big one. I was gonna say HarperCollins.
Big Five.
I should have trusted my instincts. But I actually Sword, the one that I really liked. It wasn't a pre-order, but it was brand new this year, to be fair. Like, it come out, I think, a few days before I bought it. That might be dramatic. Maybe it's not, though, you know? But it was... Why is that in... Sorry, I'm looking through my list of, like, books that I have. And one of them that was definitely supposed to be in the non-fiction section was in the fiction section, so that's interesting. But like I don't know, honestly. It's already been published, but I want to read Bad Creek, which only came out. It's not out yet. Yeah, okay. I was like, how does it come out? So there's a book called Bad Creek by Peyton June. I also follow this author, and it sounds really interesting. It's a book about someone whose sister goes missing, and then or she drowns, and then she finds a bunch of stuff from her sister where her sister had been like making notes about how she was going to drown. And so this accident suddenly starts seeming a little bit weird. And I think it's like a horror, maybe like a sort of like a supernatural type thing, you know? But it's about this girl who tries to figure out about her sister, and it's about religious trauma as well, I believe.
Oh.
That was the most like feverish explanation that what a mess. But yeah, that's not out yet, so I'm quite excited to read that, which, you know, I think that's it though. I try not to anymore because I've got so many books that I need to read that I already own. So
I know.
And I know that sounds stupid because I have bought a few books this year, but I've read them almost immediately. Like, the book that I'm reading right now, the Struggle for Europe, I bought that used, I think about a month ago. So it was literally a matter of like, because of how big it is, I was like, I need to work up to this, actually. I'll send you a picture now because I cannot express enough how insane it is to be reading a book with this many words on a page. And like, I know that there's that meme because there was that TikToker who was like, oh, there's so many words on this page, and it was like literally 6 of prose. But
I think she meant, do you know what, because English isn't her first language, I think she meant, like, I can get where she's coming from, I think she meant, like, the font itself, like, it's big, because, like, when you look at a book, I think that's what she meant, and then people just took it out of context.
Yeah.
But apparently she's got into a lot of controversy, but, like, you know when they say the big talk the Book Talk Big Three. I'm like, who the fuck are the Book Talk Big Three? I have never heard of these people
from
in
the
my life.
stuff that they've done. Like, that was stupid. But that's
oh my gosh, that hit.
It's so ridiculous, right?
That looks like a Victorian novel.
And like, bearing in mind, okay. Oh,
continue British attacks.
I am not even kidding. This book smells like the Picton reading room at Liverpool Library. Like, it smells so old. It's insane.
So it just smells really musty.
And the pages are so thin. There are 700 pages. And bearing in mind, I'm going to have to read like the indexes and stuff. So it's 700 pages and then it's the indexes and the sources. So like, there is a lot. And there are also footnotes, which are even smaller. And some of the footnotes are like full-on descriptions of stuff, and I'm just like, I read 80 pages in 2 hours yesterday, and I was so proud of myself. Because Keira Knightley, sorry.
That's Keira Knightley? That's
She's
very random.
A book.
Oh, okay.
Is it the same Keira Knightley? Though? Because it says writer and illustrator.
Maybe not. Maybe it's just someone with the same name.
Yeah. Like, oh no, it is her.
Oh.
Because she's got a whole thing of her holding her book. It's called I Love You the Same.
Is it a romance book?
It's a kid's book about a young girl who goes on a dreamlike journey through enchanted forests across mystical seas and a trail of notes that her mother has left to find her way home. So it's like a sort of like, I guess, like a Chronicles of Narnia type thing, but not.
Oh.
Sorry, that just like caught my eye because I had like a list of stuff to see if there was anything that I was forgetting, which I was, obviously, but the reason why I saw it was because I was like, oh my god, wait, that's Keira Knightley's name. Crazy. Oh, and apparently Susie Wolff, who you might not know, but she's the wife of one of the leaders of the principals of Mercedes Formula One, who also happened to be a driver, and she is responsible for the F1 Academy, which is the all-women Formula sport.
Right, I'll just say before we wrap up, some of the books I'm looking forward to are Catabatis.
Oh yes, I will probably read that at some point, but I have to read Babel first.
Yes. So what's the cyberpunk retelling coming out? I can't remember.
Oh,
Heavens, that's it. I'm looking forward to those two. Yeah, I'm quite excited, and yeah, look out for that episode that we're going to be doing.
Yeah, and obviously this is a break, but we're making it a break because I feel like it's so easy to get burnt out when you just do week after week after week after week. So we'll be back with another 12 episode season on the 6th of September. Yeah, series 2, baby.
Yeah,
anyway.
And hopefully we'll have an idea of what we're doing.
Yeah, we might even have upped our game a little bit. Well, we probably won't have, but like, we can pretend.
Oh, that was the wrong one. I was gonna.
Oh my god, the duck was so funny.
Gonna be like a proper interview. That's gonna be weird because I'll be on the other side.
Honestly, like, it's gonna be so fun to do that and just to like talk about, because like, you're gonna be a published author.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It hasn't hit. Yeah, I think when I've actually got the book in my hand, it will feel more real. Right now, it's like, yeah, it's just there.
And you've sat at that signing table.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Josh is going to be helping me. That's.
Well, it's a lot of work, and as well, I will say, like, I am officially querying again. So who knows? In a few months, maybe we can have more discussions about the querying trenches as well for the people who want to know more about Tradpub because I don't know. And I'll be writing by then, I imagine, my World War II book as well. So
Ooh.
yeah,
And
it'll
I
be a
might,
fun time. Oh, and you'll be
yes.
writing. Oh,
Yeah, I'll be writing a new book as well because I'm going to be writing my pirate book.
yeah. So we're gonna have like a lot of talking points. And
Hmm.
basically, we hope that you will be there for it.
Yeah,
But thank you for listening.
yeah. Thank you. I was going to say thank you for watching then
Thank you for watching the screen if you have.
on
Um,
YouTube. Yeah, we will see you in September.